Here in the
Recording in progress.
I think that's telling us that online it's being recorded. So hopefully your online host Anna has already explained what that entails. Welcome everybody. I'm Lisa Taylor, Community Neighbourhood Manager for Custom House in Canning Town and Beckton and Royal Docks. And this is the fourth in our 2022-2023 cycle of the Community Assembly. So we are shortly going to go through a presentation and you're going to hear some exciting feedback from your project leads in the area. So welcome and let's get started. And I'm sure Anna's already encouraged you, but if you would be willing to put your camera on online, we'd really like to see your faces and see who's there. Thank you. All right, please do bear with us because it's back to hybrid again. Last assembly we had, it was all in person, but there were a few kind of comments that people quite liked the hybrid because it gives them the option of joining at home. So we've managed to go back to this time. So yeah, so as it says, first slide, Custom House and Canning Town Community Assembly. Welcome. Thank you, Maria. Okay, I've already introduced myself, but again, for those who didn't hear, it's Lisa Taylor, Custom House in Canning Town, Beckton and Royal Docks Community Neighbourhood Manager. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay, so here's our schedule for the next couple of hours, bit of welcome and housekeeping. Then we've got an introduction to councillors and our corporate management team member and a small update on local priorities. Then we've got the exciting bit, the presentations from the project leads, several in the room and also a few online. Then we've got an activity to get you moving a little bit. We want you to celebrate some positive change in your area. Then we have a section on things that residents or you said we will and how feedback has shaped the next cycle. And that'll be quite interesting to hear about, I'm sure. An opportunity to hear from our current working group and then also find out how to join the next working group cycle. And some closing remarks from Councillor Charlene McLean and a reflection wall. We are always looking for feedback and ways of improving. So please, we'd like to have your thoughts. Okay, housekeeping and guidelines. We always put these up, but we're always willing to hear if you've got some more that you would like to add to that. Please do listen to each other and be respectful. You don't always have to agree. Do share what comes to mind. And we've already said the meeting will be recorded, potentially some photographs as well. Maria in here, who's the library supervisor at Custom House, is taking a few photos in the room. Please do put your hand up if you would not like Maria to photograph you. So enjoy, as ever, being part of shaping your community neighbourhood. I just must say at this point, we usually have a British Sign Language interpreter. We were unfortunately let down today. The interpreter was not very well. So we're not actually able to provide that this evening. If anybody came and needed that support, I do apologise profusely. We do generally make sure we've got somebody every one, but it was too short notice for us to make some quick arrangements. So what to expect from today? Don't worry, I'll be sharing some of the slides and chat with Medine Wright-Simpson and the team. But I'll just tell you that this is our last community assembly for this cycle. And you'll hear from the projects, as I said, celebrate the changes made since 2021, share how the projects have impacted you and find out how to get involved in the next cycle. And also, as I said, leave your thoughts and comments before you go. It's not moving. Right, there we go. Okay, double click. Sorry, I've gone back one. Right, a lot of you that have been before will have seen this cycle, this picture. Started in March, April last year when the applications opened. There was ideas generation and collaborating. Then we heard about the project proposals. at the second assembly. Then there was voting on the Co-Create platform. Anybody who needs any support with the Co-Create platform, do please speak to me or the team, because we can get you on there and looking at how it works. And a lot of different projects in Newham are sort of focusing on being featured on there at the moment. So September and October, we had coaching sessions for project leads. Then there was some delivery, networking and volunteering opportunities. November to February, monitoring of the projects. And here we are at Assembly 4, project showcase, evaluation and planning of the next cycle. Story so far. So you chose your local priorities for Custom House in Canning Town back in 2021. Great projects were delivered in 21-22. I wasn't here then, but I have heard about the impact and about some of the projects. Then the new ideas were put forward in May 22. 100,000 was available for each neighbourhood area across the borough, and the working group has assessed each application and put forward those who met the criteria. Again, you, the residents of Custom House in Canada, voted for the favourite projects in July 22 on Newham Co-Create, and successful voted projects were announced in the September 22. Project started in October, in or around October 22. Okay, so just a reminder again of the 3 current priorities: improve community safety and policing for everyone, youth activities and education, and better parks, green spaces and natural environment. So all of our projects meet one or more of those priorities. Okay, so around Newham Council's update on your local priorities. I'm pleased to introduce Vicky Clark, who is quite new to Newham Council and also new to being our corporate management team sort of link, as it were, in the council, and she's the Corporate Director of Inclusive Economy and Housing. So, Vicky, I wondered if you could come up and just introduce yourself and say a few words.
Yes. Yeah. Looking completely the wrong place. So, can you all hear me okay? Right, it's really good to be here. So, I'm Vicky, as Lisa's already said. I'm the council's director. I don't even need to repeat all that. You can see what I am. I just started a few months ago, but I'm not new to the area. I've actually lived in Newham and Forest Gate for 23 years. So it's really lovely to be, and I've worked in and around East London for nearly all of that time as well, working in local authority regeneration and economic development. So it's really lovely to be joining you here today. I actually cast votes in my for my community assembly and for my projects. I remember the same process up in Forest Gate. So it's really good to be here and see the outcomes of all the exciting projects today. I've had a look through the list of projects and they all look great. And a lot of them, as a resident, resonate for me as the kind of things that I can completely see why you wanted to commit to. And I can also really see how they're going to make a difference to all the residents and communities of Custom House in Canning Town. I don't think I've got a great deal more to say than that, Lisa. If that's enough for you for now, I'll hand back to you to carry on. Just to say, sorry, lost the mic. Very happy to chat to anyone later on and give you a bit more info and to learn about what you're all doing. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Vicky. It's really helpful for neighbourhoods to have a corporate management team link in case any issues we need a bit of support with or unblocking of issues. So it's great to have Vicky on board. Okay, so now we've got a slide full of your local councillors, and I'm going to look around the room because I know I've seen one or two, and I wondered if I could invite councillors in person first to come up and just say hello. So we've got Councillor Rohit Dasgupta, Councillor Rita Chadha, Councillor Sabia Kamali. Hello again. Right. Give us a second, they're coming up. And Anna, if you could also after that let me know who is online from the councillors, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Councillor Rita Chadha. I am from Canning Town North and I was newly elected in May, so I'm very new to this, so please go easy on me.
Hi everyone, my name is Councillor Rohit Dasgupta. I'm from Canning Town South. There's a lot of people over here I know by face and by name. And just in terms of surgery, we do our surgeries every Saturday from 10 till 12 over here in the library. So anytime between 10 to 12, either myself or Rita or Shabs or Arik, one of us will always be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Sabia Kamali. I'm Councillor for Stratford. I'm also in the Cabinet for Resident Engagement and Experience, and Community Assembly is one of the major projects that we do. Glad to see you all here today.
Thanks very much, councillors. And how about online? Anna? Oh, go on, please don't let me stop you clapping. So, do we have anybody online?
I can only see Councillor Charlene McLean, but I think she's speaking later.
That's right, yeah. Okay, well, thanks for checking. We'll carry on with the assembly. And thanks for coming up, councillors. Right, could we have the presentation back up, Chris? Because I don't know it by heart. Okay, nearly there, thank you. Okay, so now it's actually over to the project lead, so that bit went quite quick. Medina's going to come and introduce them, and then we'll get a chance to hear from them. Thanks, Medina.
Thank you, Lisa. Now for the interesting part, according to Lisa. We have 10 projects for the neighborhood, and I'll be calling on each project lead to just update us on their interesting project that has been taking place. So we're going to start off with Your Place, and we're going to do online first. So I'm going to call on James. Anna.
Yeah, hello. I'm James McNicholas, Trust Fundraising Manager at Your Place, London Limited. We're based in Canning Town South. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary this year. We used to be known as Caritas Anchor House. We changed our name in October to Your Place, London Limited. But we've definitely been around for a while. And we were hugely grateful to receive the support and the idea that it was voted on by local residents. That's the first time in my experience that's worked like that. So hugely grateful. So we requested funding to refurbish or continue refurbishing the front of our building, our reception area, and to continue supporting young residents 18 to 25 years old into employment and independent accommodation. Could I see the next slide, please? So we are refurbishing, as I say, the front of our building, the reception area, improving the appearance generally and enhancing security. And we continue to employ a very special job coach who I'm hoping is in the audience tonight, maybe physically in the room with a couple of our residents. Please make a point of speaking to them if they're around and willing to speak. And the job coach continues to support residents and young residents in particular experiencing homelessness to secure employment. And I just want to give you some very quick figures. So in the year ending December 31st, 2022, we supported 17 young residents aged 18 to 25 to move on into employment. 17 residents moved on into independent accommodation. 14 young residents moved into employment. These are numbers, but these are incredible stories. Each individual story has a massive impact on someone's life. We're aware of 10 young residents, sadly, aged 18 to 25 with mental health issues that we continue to try and engage. We have 65 residents with no recourse to public funds, and we've supported 19 individuals to move on into independent accommodation. And we have a significant group of people holding asylum seeker or refugee status, 55 of them, and we're looking to target that group as well. Can I see the next slide, please? Just some figures about Newham. I'm guessing won't come as much surprise, but it has still, according to Shelter, the highest percentage per capita of homelessness in England. We recently increased our accommodation, our bed spaces, from 140 to 220 beds. our throughput was expected to increase from around 287 to 416. These are significant developments. They included external sites as well. And in March last year, we successfully built and opened another 15 units for people who've been experiencing rough sleeping. There's definitely a very high level of demand for our work. If I can see the next slide. I'm packing a lot in here, I'm afraid. Building work on reception started in late December 2022. This is a long-standing project. So the 10,000 of the 20,000 that was allocated towards the building work, it sat very nicely, supported by local residents through Newham, with support from the Cloth Workers Foundation, the Edward Gosling Foundation, the B&Q Foundation, so some charitable trusts and foundations and corporate supporters who've allowed us to start and complete, hopefully, that part of our refurbishment, which will improve security and generally enhance the area. So we're looking to create specifically a psychologically informed environment space within the lounge. So we've allocated something like 5,500 towards that, 2,500 towards the reception, and particularly some issues around cabling and CCTV to improve security, 2,000 towards a resident gardening group, which has been sort of taking place. There are some photographs later. That's how the 10,000 splits in that half. The other half is for revenue towards resident engagement officer and job coach posts. So I can see the next slide. The gardening group, such as it is, has started with a group of residents getting involved, which is always a good thing. We sort of put a high price. We value resident engagement and listening to user voice. And we have a board in the reception in the lounge area, which is you said, we did. And we sort of record what we've responded to that residents have raised as issues. So that's been taking place successfully. And the next slide. Just some examples of the changes that we've managed as part of this project to implement in a building that dates from 1962. At the top left, you can see the old kitchen space and the new space. So we store food in that new space from food donations. And then in the bottom, you can see the lounge area itself. So it's quite an astonishing change that we've made. And the next slide. This is a case study of a young resident, a young resident who came to your place following a long time in prison as a young man. He engaged with us and sought work within the engineering field after achieving the Transport for London qualification whilst in prison. He secured employment and private rented accommodation and moved out of your place to live independently within 6 months with the guidance and support offered. That's a good example of some of the things, just one person that we've impacted on. We impact on many individual lives, and we're grateful for your support to allow us to continue to do that. Can I see the next slide? We have another case study here, Dulce's story, sleeping rough on the streets, often terrifying time, fearing for her own safety, and no place to hide. Rough sleeping has been a major issue in Newham and continues to be so, sadly. Dulce moved into Caritas Anchor House soon after this experience and remembers her experience of relief as she stepped into the room. She knew that she'd be safe. I think the sense of safety and belonging to something is hugely important. And Dulce reports that Caritas Anchor House, as it was, your place, London Limited now, is a place full of great opportunities where you can make something of yourself. Next slide, please. In terms of the priorities that we are responding to, it's mainly the youth activities and education through our employment and I guess move on work as well. And we like to think that improving the physical environment and atmosphere within the building, which is a busy building, it houses 155 individuals currently, your support has contributed significantly to allow us to refurbish and to continue impacting on many individual lives. And we're hugely grateful for that. I can't say that often enough. So thank you. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, James. I think fantastic work there. Yeah, big round of applause. And as we move on to our next project lead presentation, just a reminder, we're aware of the timing, 5 minutes each. So if you can just go through your slides as quickly as possible. Thank you. Is Tom online? We'll now have the ACT Gardening Project.
Hi there, hope you can hear me. So I'm Tom Booker, and ACT stands for Ascension Community Trust. We are a charity based in Custom House. Our offices are at Ascension Church Centre. For this project, we're very grateful to receive this funding. We had previously been in the process of setting up a community garden space, and with the aims of this grant, we were hoping to expand what we've been doing with the aims of improving local green space, transforming unused land, and involving local people in that process, as well as connecting with local schools to provide the opportunity for young people to be involved in gardening workshops, and keen to sort of see the positive outcomes that can come for well-being with being involved with gardening-based projects. So since we last spoke, we've continued to run projects for young people attending our community garden space, being involved in a range of gardening activities, and with a sort of therapeutic benefit, particularly for young people with additional support needs who are involved in that project. We have spent time scouting out potential areas of unused land and space in Custom House, which could be transformed, and identified the first 2 sites for this. In particular with that, on the boundary of Farley Road and Mortlake Road, there's a space you can see on the bottom right. And we have met with Create, a local specialist school there, and discussed ideas for transforming that space, for putting gardening installations, as well as art-based projects. We're really keen to develop that further. Obviously, it's quite a weather-sensitive project, so now is the time we're going to be busiest. And we are hoping in the near future to develop that space. One issue we have had, and so on this basis, we're not where we want to be time-wise, but I hope we will still realise what we're setting out to do is that we do not have yet permission to use that space. So there's lots of networking going on to try and secure that. But additionally, there's a space by Felsted Road, which we are in the process of working with. So tomorrow we have a networking time with residents, and we're hoping on April the 1st that will be the day when that space is. In addition to that, we have also got coming up a school visit, coming to do workshops to learn about gardening and take part on the 28th with others, hopefully in the pipeline as well. And finally, on April the 8th, we have got a open event around the Easter period to involve local residents, families and young people in gardening projects at our site. So there is lots going on, lots to come. We are not where we hope to be schedule-wise, but we are still hopeful that we will be able to realise what we set out to do, and I'm very grateful for the funding towards doing that.
Sorry, I've muted Lisa's computer because we were getting feedback, so you just need to unmute.
Okay, thanks again, Tom. Now we're just saying that I'm sharing the leaflets with us as soon as they're ready to engage residents. Thank you. Okay, our next presentation is from Future Shock. Is Carolina online? Carolina?
Hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm not that well, but I'm good. I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, I'll just start. We are Future Shock, which is a not-for-profit organisation embedded within Fold Nightclub, which promotes, educates, and explores next generation techniques in interdisciplinary practices, expanded fields of club culture, electronic music, interactive design, architecture, audiovisual performance, and digital art production. This grant will enable us to do an 11-week beginners course to teach the fundamentals of music, audiovisual, and live event production with the full use of Fold facilities. The course is specifically focused towards Newham youth residents aged 18 to 21. And then the aim is to also have like a practical outcome at the end for friends and family with full use of the like facilities as well. Next slide, please. So we haven't actually received the first installment yet. So we've just been getting ready to do the project, which we will start on the 15th of March, the workshop program. So far we have designed the poster and the flyer, and we're looking for participants. So we've got in touch with local organisations, but I'm still looking for Newham resident participants. So if anybody knows anybody that would be interested in this, then please reach out to me. Yeah, so this week I'm going to be putting flyers around Newham to find the participants, and we've planned the curriculum and confirmed most of the workshop leaders, and started to build the website for the project. So yeah, which will launch in a few weeks' time. So yeah, next slide, please. This is a prototype for the poster that I'm going to be putting around. But I just included that as an image because I don't have any practical images at the moment. I've got some from past Future Shock events a bit further down as well, just to show you, get an idea of what it will be like. So yeah, if you want to move along. This is from past Future Shock events, what they look like and what the kind of capabilities that we can do for an event with friends and family for local residents. But yeah, it's just to give you a sense of what it will look like when we get there. So the impact so far is that we will be starting on the 15th of March, and it's been delayed, obviously. Our program is aimed at Newham youth residents, and it's free for them to participate. The project aims to give local residents aging 18 to 21-year-olds an introduction to the aspects that make up our environment and space. It will teach them the basis of music production, DJing, audiovisual, interactive design, event production, and artist development. The workshop will be run by Fold and Future Shock residents, and as well as high-profile artists, from some of them from East London. It aims to create a long-lasting relationship with us, and to help unfold and to help kickstart a career in music and visual arts. We're trying to also get some kit donated by companies such as Pioneer, and if we can, we'd like to be able to donate that kit to the most promising participants so they can continue in their trajectory. We also want to create a studio that can be booked out for practicing during the course, which we will do anyway, but then also hopefully that these participants can come and book out the practice time regularly after the course as well to continue their relationship. Next slide. Can't remember if that's the end. Oh yeah, this is just some other images I wanted to include. So yeah, that, and then the next one. They're past Future Shock events. So we get quite a lot of people coming to them. And then, yeah, so how we've meet the priorities is to provide a safe space, educational, active course which aims to support local underserved and disadvantaged youths. It will provide professional experience with real and tangible outcomes that can develop and dictate through the 11 weeks. The course will not only give a practical introduction to each of these disciplines, but will also provide an opportunity to develop an outcome in terms of an immersive event with full use of Fold resources, including audiovisual rig and sound system. The project will provide educational health and well-being through the interdisciplinary nature of the programme, which will also include performing arts, dance, as well as design, architecture and music. The workshop will take place during at-risk times for the youth, taking them off the streets, which means will improve community safety and policing for everyone. I think that's the last one. I can't remember.
Okay, thank you, Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and moving on, so we've completed all online. We're now going to do in person. And Raffaello, you're next. Yeah. So what are you gonna do? My name is Raffaella.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Raffaella. I'm a resident, and I apply for FOUND to run all this workshop that they have the goal to teach to the children, the youth mainly, that have participate. Sorry, they want me to move, okay. Educate them to save the planet, reuse, reduce, recycle. What we have done during this workshop, what you will see in the in this picture, in this video that we have created together with the participant, is all the workshop have been run between November and December here at Canning Town Library. Thanks to everyone. I want to thank the staff and everyone be very supportive in everything. Thank you so much. And let's just go for the slide. It's better. Thank you for the video.
I know you're scared sometimes, don't know if you're wrong or right. You've been doing things you never thought you'd do, taking it day by day. It seems like you lost your way. Even when you win, it still feels like you lose. When your heart is racing at the speed of light, and you feel like you got nowhere else to go. No, I'll hold you till the sun comes in the morning light. Yeah, I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go. When your heart is racing at the speed of light, and you feel like you got nowhere else to go. No, I'll hold you till the sun comes in the morning light. Yeah, I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go.
Thank you so much. What you've seen so far is the workshop during November and December, but this is just part of the fund that we spend on this. The last fund will be spent in Little Pig Cool. This was, I didn't explain, zero waste fashion workshop where we have combined art and fashion together with the participant. And next step will be Little Pig Cool. And we would probably gonna go, I don't know, Starlane Park or another area that needs like help, like it needs like cleaning, but it's not gonna be just cleaning. I'm gonna try to educate all the participants that is important to save our planet, and not only. We're gonna do like a treasure hunt during that. And also it's gonna be another part of the project. And the last part will be urban street art, where we're gonna do Ideally, I start Canning Town Library if I get the permission, I don't know, like canvas, and we're gonna use our spray can to everyone. So everyone is gonna be able to come and participate, family, children, all the community can be involved. We're gonna create some artistic pieces that they're gonna be forever. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Interesting project there. Next, may I invite those standing to the far back just to occupy some seats at the front here, please. No need to stand at the back. We have some more vacant seats here up front. Thank you. Our next presentation is from Young Generation Leaders. Venetia.
Hi everyone. First, I want to say thank you for being here, for taking that time of your evening, and I want to thank you all for the votes in order for me to be able to do what I'm doing today. So just to give you a summary of what Young Generation Leaders is. So Young Generation Leaders is a branch from Young Generation Needs Us, which is on my jumper. So Young Generation Needs Us is a youth support service that brings awareness to mental health, anti-bullying, and special educational needs and disability. I've already been doing these work since last year with primary school, which I got funded by another organization. So I've been doing it for a year now. So what I did before, just to give you guys a summary for those that may not know, I went into a primary school called Rosetta Primary School, which is in Custom House. I did workshops with young children who have complex needs that may be at risk of being excluded and they need provision. I've done workshops with them using creative arts to teach them more about special educational needs, as I believe that some schools don't teach kids in mainstream settings. So they had more of an idea of what ADHD is, autism, and also had an idea of what dyslexia is as well. And we were able to teach them about mental health, and I had volunteers with me at the time to be able to do these works. We've had feedback from teachers that said that it helped improve their well-being, made them more calmer in the classrooms. Parents have also said that they've seen change of their behavior. And we've had children tell us that they've learned so many things that they've never been taught before in terms of sign language. So we did teach our kids sign language as well. So they got taught that, and they got taught on how to process their difficult emotions. If you could just go on to the next slide for me, please. Thank you. So the aim of the project is to equip participants aged 10 to 12 years old, so year 5 and year 6s, with practical tools that is currently unavailable from mainstream settings. As some may know, if you work in education or have been in education, we're not really taught about autism. We're not really taught about sign language. That's something that I went through my own to learn about. I've also had like lived experiences, and I've also worked in educational settings. So I was a learning support assistant to special educational needs kids. So I know what I'm doing. It's not something that I just don't have any idea or qualification about. So with this project is to help them process difficult emotions in a healthy way, boost their self-esteem and confidence, being an agent for change for themselves and others, and become better peers inclusively. If you can go on to the next slide for me, please. Thank you. So at the moment, with this funding, what we did is we're working in Ravenscroft Primary School and worked at Rosetta Primary School as well. So 2 primary schools with 2 sets of kids. This is me with the kids during a workshop, if you can see the images. So with the funding, what I have done is I've created a booklet that each kid has access to, where it has all the 12. So what we are doing right now is a 12-week program. So we did start in November. We've only recently just got the funding, but I had started before the funding because it's something that I've already been doing. So before the funding being received, I was already doing the work. And I started in November. We do have the aim to finish in March, but to be confirmed because it might go into April. So this is what we're doing at the moment. We are on week 7 at the moment. We're on week 7 at the moment, and it's mainly learning. So from week 9 to 12 is going to be creative arts, where they're going to be getting all the things that they've learned about in terms of autism, ADHD, special needs, and mental health and anti-bullying, and turning that into a piece of artwork, where these artwork is going to be displayed at the cable cars where I work at the moment. So I've spoken to my manager, and we've got the heads up to display their artwork in the cable cars, if you know where the cable cars is at. And we're in the process of speaking to TfL to get displayed at tube stations within our local community. So that will be to be confirmed, but is in the process of being confirmed anyway, so I can share that with you guys. So TfL is going to be collaborating with us and partner with us to get their artwork. And they're going to be, after the workshop is done, so after the project is done, what is going to happen is they're going to be able to go visit the cable cars with their family and friends. We were meant to do it as a trip, but because of SATs, which they have to prioritize, they're not able to do that. So they're going to go with the family and friends, and the local community will also be allowed to go to visit. We'll let know when that's going to happen. So it's going to be around, and I'll also let Medine know about that. Also, they will be getting certificates at the end of it, and they will be getting one of our merchandise as well with that, and resources that help with their mental health and also their special needs and disability. If you just go on to the next slide for me. We do have some feedback from the children. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any videos of them, but I do have written feedback from them. This is from the kids that I've actually worked with. So as you can see on the top, it says, things I will take away from the session is the explore emotions. So in our sessions, we do explore emotions where they're able to label how they feel. As I believe in education, we don't really speak about our feelings, and that's what we do with Young Generation Needs Us. So they've said that they're able to take that away with them, and it makes them feel happier by doing things like that. Another student has said, I learned that I'm fortunate, and I've learned that I'm enough. I've learned that people are different. We have another child that has said, I don't know if it says on there, but it says, I've learned that the gem I will take is sign language because my brother has autism and it would help him a lot. So you can clearly see that our work is helping children not just communicate amongst their peers in the classroom, but also take this into their family households. I also got written actual from the kids. One of the child said, I'm finding the workshop super fun. I've learned different things and it's making me more active with the people around me. I've learned different disabilities and feelings, and I recommend this to schools because I'm allowed to be myself and I'm able to be calm. So I'm just giving you guys feedback to see the progress of the work. We've had kids saying that this work is amazing. They love the activity. It has helped them release their stress, and they would recommend it because they're able to, I'm able to learn about what people go through. So within these workshops, we're not just teaching, but also allowing them to be independent so that they can be able to support peers around them. So that's the whole aim of it. So we're trying to make school a better place. And if you just go on to the next part, which is how do we meet the parity? So one of the parities that we meet, which is the main one, is youth activities and education, and how it will benefit the local community, not just the local community, but I thought, to be honest, what I'm trying to do is worldwide. So it's not just the community, but worldwide is building the future leaders that will help them develop onto their next path. So we're trying to plant a seed in young generation. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Interesting work ahead. Interesting project. Moving on, the Barber Connect project. King, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I want to thank you for your time today to come out to see once again what we're trying to do. So this is my first ever project in my community. I live in Newham for about 18 years now, and I'm a barber, and I work with these children. So I know the problem these young people are facing every day on the street of London. So I decided to create a project called the Barber Connect. So the Barber Connect, it's a project whereby local barbers connect together, where we can just bring a network within ourselves and engage these young children. So I discovered, I have a son. My son is 12 years old, and I realized how he behaves when he goes to school. He has a phone. So each time I check his phone, I see what he does every time. So I think in my mind, I have these kids, I have this concerning mind about these children on the street roaming about, getting involved in crime. So we decided to name that project the Barber Connect. So the aim is to keep them out of trouble on the street. So I personally offer to give them 100 free haircut in Custom House area, and Canning Town. This is because it's going to attract these children to engage them. Then I'm going to be working with other stakeholders, mentors, and coaches, like my young lady just said now. She's going to be, obviously, I'm going to be proposing to partner with her so she can come to that event on the 15th of April. It's going to be here. So we're going to be inviting all these children to come here and get their free haircuts, and while we can engage them and introduce them to different young youth activities. So, so can I get the next slide? Yeah. So what we've done lately is I have reached out to all the barbers in the community that we've had a meeting about how we can reach out to these kids. So it's going to be very simple. It's going to be 5 barbers in the community, in the Custom House and Canning Town. So we've done our vouchers. So we're just waiting for the prints to come out, then the flyers. So we're going to be dropping some flyers in the library and all the barbershops in Canning Town and Custom House, where we could just reach out to these young people. So I'll be offering them of 12-week. Anybody that is signed up is going to be offered a 12-week training one-on-one with me in the barbershop, and a barbering kit is going to be offered to them to start their own, and we can mentor them because we don't want them on the street. So it's going to be summertime now, and because of the cost of living, every child might be on the street, and these predators might try to influence these youths in doing different things on the street. So we want to try and engage them. And the progress of the project, I've signed up a boy, Emmanuel, and Emmanuel is right here with his mom. So if Emmanuel is going to stand up, Emmanuel, he went to the loo. Okay, so he's one of my clients. I've been cutting his hair since he was born. So Emmanuel will be 16 years old now. And he told his mom he wants to learn how to do what I do. So he's the first boy that is going to be signed up for this project. And my daughter too said she wants to sign up with me. She's 10 years old. So this project is going to be open from age 10 to 15. So we're going to be reaching out to them. So on the 15th of April, we're going to be inviting different coaches, collaborating with London Music, London Fire Brigade. So they're all going to be coming here and meet all these young futures and talking to them about what this crime is on the street. So the next slide. So the end result is reducing of crime in our community. So because I've been in this area for a while, and I saw a lot of things on the street. So I don't want our children to get involved with all this kind of crimes and involvement in different kind of activities. So drugs and all that stuff. So I will be working with them personally, and with the support of the library, they're giving us their space. So we're going to be using here on the 15th, and I'm going to be inviting one of the celebrity barber, which is my friend that went to prison and came back, and he became a celebrity barber. So he's going to be telling them the journey and how they could go out of crime and keep out of trouble. So so that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure you will all have a chit chat with King afterwards and all the other project leads. Moving right along, we now have Walk Together. Nida.
Hi everyone, I'm Nida, and I used to live in Custom House. Now we've moved out, but when I applied for this grant, we were in Custom House, and walking home from Canning Town Station, picking my kids up from Care Hardy Primary School, going all the way to Custom House. It was an experience that I would every day feel unsafe going through, and that is where this project basically stemmed from. Could you go on to my slides, please? Yeah. So the aim of the project was to try and understand the problem of street safety. And then once we understood what it meant for everyone, a lot of people, then we could go on to develop a solution that would help women feel safer on the streets. And that solution would be centric to those women that we had spoken to. And so it's a very kind of user-centric kind of approach that we've taken to this project. Sorry about this pie chart, this is wrong here. But when we started doing our research, we found out there's a very extensive survey done by UN Women UK in 2021. There are many more surveys as well, but this one had over 1,000 women in the UK, so it was very relevant for us. And we found really astonishing numbers. We found that 71% of all women in the UK had faced street harassment at one point or another in their life. And when we look at the ages between 18 and 24, this number jumps to a whopping 86%. So clearly this was a very big issue that wasn't being sort of handled with as much, given as much priority. Thank you. So since the project started in about August last year, so we have tried to do some activism around it, try to highlight the relevance of this problem, and also try and educate people on how to be better allies and how to act in the appropriate manner to react with if they see an incident happening on the street. We did all of this through our social media. I will share the handle at the, also it's here. So at We Walk Aware on Instagram, please join. We also arranged focus groups to validate the need for a safety app, and also identified our key demographic and design user journey. So if we look at this slide over here, again, this data is, we haven't collected this data, but it's very clear. So this is data coming from different women, and we can see that there is overlap. So there are several, we can see that the same person has faced several cases of harassment, right? And the numbers they're big numbers. And we can see that the ages between 18 to 24 are, in most cases, they're the most vulnerable. So those are the demographics that we are focusing on at the moment. Later, as the project progresses, we will increase our scope to more people as well. So far, we validated the idea of allowing app users to work together. So I will come to that in just a minute. But we've validated the idea of allowing app users to work together and build trust. We ran a survey with about 150 women where we asked the question of, in addition to other questions around safety, we also asked them whether they would be willing to work together with a verified user around them, wherever they were in their journey. And we can see a positive response from around 77% of the respondents. And next stage, we are looking to launch our MLP and then do beta testing on it. So what are we doing in this safety app? How are we trying to solve this problem of street safety? We have a user story here. This is Sarah, and she has to go home, and she doesn't want to walk home alone for whatever reason. So she opens her app, and on the app, she sees there are many verified users. So these pins on the third screen, there are many verified users around her. So what verified users means is that these are people that the app has already verified through their government issued documents. And these are, so the app trusts these users, and so Sarah can trust these users as well. And so Sarah can choose any of them based on where she's going, where they're going, and all of that AI. And once she picks the user, and she can ask the other user if they're willing to work together with Sarah, the other person also agrees, and now they're walking home together, happy and safe. And so what we are hoping the impact of the project would be is reduced harassment incidents and complaints, and also to form working communities where the community members look out for each other and they feel responsible for keeping each other safe. Local priority, this was Canning Town Custom House's highest priority, which was safer streets for all. And we also want to create more connected and consensuous communities who are responsible for each other's safety. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So I am running tests today. So whoever's interested, please let me know, come over to my table, or I can come over to you, and you can, play your part in creating this a more safer world, as you say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nidhu. Thank you. Moving on, Sky, the New Wave Wall project.
Hiya. Thanks for everyone for coming tonight. Cool. Yeah. So the aim of the project, we're based in Canning Town South, is to make reuse as appreciated as much as recycling. As we've heard of recycling and why that's important. So the idea is when it came out was to be to reduce waste, was reduce, reuse, recycle. So yeah, that's quite ambitious to kind of really promote reusing as much as recycling, but ambitious things have to start somewhere, and that's really what we're about, as well as supporting people during the cost of living crisis, because it has those two benefits really. It's better for the environment and also is making things more affordable. So there is the idea to it started to use the empty garages that we were able to work with the Regen team to get in Newham to put the donations in and then organise the donations to make them available for people. So they've been saved from landfill or incineration and donated to us. There's a picture coming a bit later on where also we'll see like a small community garden to the side of the project. And then longer term aims. We're hoping to grow it, support other groups locally, but also try and encourage more people to start a similar project where they're based. So this could be a whole movement that's coming out of Canning Town, hopefully. Hopefully providing a workshop space where we could teach people how to fix things that have been donated. Might just need a fuse changing or something else, maybe a table leg replacing, all kinds of things, but that's what we're going to try and do. Next slide, please. Here's a little bit about progress. Similar to some of the other projects mentioned, I haven't actually been able to get some of the funding as yet, the first instalment, but we have been able to promote the project. You can see there we've sort of just begun cleaning up, promoting it locally. Good to see some neighbours here tonight as well. Thanks for coming out. And holding work days basically to begin to repair. I see on the end there, people repairing the doors, making doors out of boarded up doors. Some of the garages were boarded up. Cool. So next slide, please. So if that's readable, so we're already feeling that we're helping to reduce fly tipping. Some of the things have been saved, just being left next to bins and have been donated. People have already been receiving donations. We can name some groups. There's the Threads Radio, VSpace, The Craftery, Food Not Bombs London, Care for Calais in Newham, and a winter shelter in Shadwell. So far, all received donations, and we're trying to build networks to support people in a more consistent, regular way. That's that slide. Next slide, please. And the priorities, I don't know if these are numbered quite right, but the two, I think, were the last two priorities really. Mainly green spaces and the natural environment, but also the youth activities from teaching people how to repair things. And then also we think that the knock-on effect will be improving community safety just by helping the area to sort of feel safer, basically, as fly tipping's reduced and more networks have been created, hopefully. I think there's one or two more slides. So here's the artist's impression of what we're hoping to do with the garages. I could have done like a before and after, but yeah, so we see the community garden on the side there. There's an idea to try and create a bike workshop, maybe a zero waste bike workshop, similar to one that's already running in Dalston. So we want to support that, and the money will also be going into materials for the roofs, for the front, for the community garden, as hopefully the project progresses. There was an idea before how long we would be there in a community assembly. With the flats opposite us, the empty flats, I should say, being refurbished, I think it's looking like we're going to be there for some time, quite a few years. So this is all going to come much later, but we are hoping to have an open day in March and to, yeah, kind of get the project moving. And there's our contact details. There's a little montage, a little summary of some things that have happened so far. And it's on Instagram, which is where we usually do updates, and you can get in touch through email or phone. And I left a few leaflets on the table, so if anyone wants to take leaflets home or take a photograph of the leaflets, feel free. Thanks.
Perfect. Look forward to hear more on this project. Our next project is the ASSET project. Denise, Dean.
Good evening, my name is Dean Armand. I'm afraid you've got the monkey, not the organ grinder, because Denise has worked so hard she's lost her voice. So I'll try and do my best. Custom House Bookshop, as the name says, is in Custom House. It's not the most obvious place to start a bookshop. It's one of the poorest and most socially deprived areas in the whole of the country, not just Newham. You can see that if you look at Newham Info, or if you look at House of Commons Research Library, or you can just look at my T-shirt, which shows you visually the data, which is a map showing the data from 2015, the indices of multiple deprivation. Purple is the most deprived area, and the whole area is coloured purple. What we're hoping to do is delivering inclusive community events. You hear these words all the time. They're not just buzzwords to us. Inclusive means several things. We work with vulnerable adults who live in the sheltered housing units nearby called the Flying Angel. These are people with mental, emotional, and physical difficulties. We also work with refugees, migrants, and other groups like that, and they're placed by the Home Office in a location near to Custom House Station, which is very close to us. Another aspect of the inclusive aspect is all of our events and activities are all free. The only reason we can do that is because of the grant we got from the Community Assembly. Given the poverty and deprivation there, we know if we tried to charge for events, we'd end up with a two-tier system where some parents could afford to pay for their children to participate and some couldn't. So that's why things are free. If we go to the next one. This is where you find us. Any of you who've been to Custom House Station probably recognise Jesse Brennan's great mural, and we're just a couple of doors along. What you can't see from the slide is in the top right-hand corner, it says in partnership with Newham Council. And we're very proud of that partnership because we couldn't have done it without the help that we've received from Newham Council. As I said, we run weekly, we run events and activities. The activities are things that we hold on a regular basis. And if you have a look at the leaflets I put out on each of the table on the back, it tells you the main events that we hold, the main activities we hold at the moment. And the events are one-off things, and you can see them for yourself. Next slide, please. You might recognise Mother Christmas, and we're not allowed to show the face of the children. And when we mentioned this to the mother, she said, "I'll cover her face up," and that's why we got this photo. Improve community safety and policing for everyone. As longer-term residents will know, Custom House has suffered regeneration blight for the last 2 decades. One of the unfortunate offshoots of that is it's a high crime area. We've had 4 fatal knife stabbings in the last 18 months within 200 metres of the bookshop. That's a grim picture, but working with local groups like the Police War Panel, we host them. We're working with them, with councillors and council departments to change things there. One of the aspects of this is creating CHAT, the Custom House Association of Traders, where we're coming together. We're trying to think of simple, practical things we can do, working with the council, with anchor institutions like the NHS and the police to improve things. This means working with the councillors, design out crime officer, to get the pavements fixed, to get lines of sight done, and the lighting replaced. So these are simple, practical ways that we can work together with the council and other organisations to improve policing and safety. Youth activities and education. Well, we're a bookshop, so I think that speaks for itself for what we do. But we're also working with London Design and Engineering College, which is a feeder school to the University of East London. And one of the things we're in the process of doing is setting up Lego for engineers. And that's a specific type of Lego where young people work with it to design and see engineering principles happening in practice. Our shutters on the shop front are quite grim. The previous tenants painted them black with some funny squiggles on them. The council did a great job at the Regeneration Hub at number 25, involving the local community and working with the community. They redesigned the shop shutters with young people. We plan to do exactly the same there. So we'll be doing that. Education is one of our other things that we do. And as Councillor Dasgupta knows, we worked to get the former Seaman Brothers Way renamed after Campbell Chunchi, who opened the Coloured Men's Institute in Canning Town. B.D. Pettit was a businessman whose substantial donation led to the founding of the London School of Tropical Medicine, which sounds a bit strange, but when you think about it, one of the things to do with medicine and people catching diseases was related to international trade. That was the docks. We have the docks down in Custom House. People didn't want people who had infections running or moving through London, so it made sense to build the School of Tropical Medicine right next to the docks and take people off the ships. Some of you may be aware of Sylvia Pankhurst, who operated just across the road, and Frank Bailey was the first black fireman in the UK. We did an event about him 2 years ago in Black History Month. This on the left is what we inherited. As you can see, we call it the yard. It's the space behind the bookshop. Many people know the whole area around here is prone to subsidence that have broken up the walls, that have broken up the floor, and plants have come through. Not using our community assembly grant, but a separate funding stream from Newham Council has enabled us to have the space transform here. Denise is working with a local artist, Matt Ponting, to get these walls painted with some interesting designs, and the wall on the right will have specific designs and features that will be working to the best effect with children with SEND needs. Next one. Okay, well, it's over to you now. I mean, I can stand here talking about what we've done, but it's over to you. We would be interested to hear after the presentations your thoughts on what our project has done to the local neighbourhood. But I'd just like to say again, we couldn't have done it without the money we got from this community assembly and the support we've had from councillors and council officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Okay, we're now going to call on Karen with our final project, which is moving forward, feeling balanced.
So I'm Karen. I do live in Beckton, but I've been working all over Newham, I guess, for the last 3 or 4 years with different projects. And I'm going to ask Louise to come up because she's on my project at the moment. So Louise, do you want to come and do the little leg extensions while I'm talking? So next slide, please. So my project was Moving Forward, Feeling Balanced. And it was a falls prevention program, but also a training program. So Louise signed up for my training, which is the YMCA Lifestyle Management. And she's been very good so far. She's done her food diary. She's set her objectives and she has her ball behind her, but she's going to put it onto her knee and show us the well, she's got a skirt on, so maybe not. But the exercises she's been doing at home to try and strengthen her legs. And this is one of the things that we will be doing on the falls prevention programme with older adults. But the idea is to try and get younger people as well involved to actually mentor and help with some of that. And as I say, it's about physical balance as well as mental balance through education, sharing and knowledge, peer support. So the idea is that I train up people, local residents like Louise, and then they can actually help support other adults and other residents that have needs. So, Councillor, could go back one. Councillor Dye's not here today, is she? Can you go back one slide? Councillor Dye stumbled on our session the 1 week, and so that's her doing her exercises with us in Custom House Library. You can see the spiky balls in the middle picture. I know Betty's here tonight, so Betty's benefited from using the spiky balls. They're good for hands, feet, circulation. And the one on the right is actually not at Custom House Library, but I am delivering at the moment at Hamaragar. And we have a group of adults that come every week. And Kevin came the first week with sciatica and said, "Oh, I don't want to take part, I just want to watch." And one of the other ladies comes with a walking frame. And the first week she couldn't stand up without her frame. And one of the other ladies did the whole session sitting down. And I've been doing that session, I think it's just from September. And this week, the lady with the walking frame stood up and down 3 times unaided. And the other lady with the walking stick is now, we re-nicknamed her probably politically incorrectly, but Speedy Gonzalez, because she is now running down the corridor. We do little tests each week, each month we do little tests. Do you want to do the sit to stand for me, Louise, just really quickly? So we do one little test where we do our sit to stand, where we just stand up and then we sit back down. And Louise has done a million, but you only have to do it for a minute. But it does show you how the progress. And again, Kevin started off on the first week, he did 6, and 3 weeks ago he did 18. So you can see what we do, the ball strength in between, so you can see what the project can do. Moving on. So we haven't got very far with the Busmouse one. I have been going to the library, and we have been training up so that before Christmas we started with the project for the YMCA award. So that's actually going well, and Louise and the other participants that signed up early have nearly completed. But I will be doing a workshop on Saturday at the Ascension Church Hall. So if anybody wants to come and learn about the project, if you want to sign up, normally the YMCA course, it's you can do it in 12 weeks or 12 months. We've got till May, I think, to try and do it. But it normally costs between 100 and 150 pounds. There are funded places, they're free. So if you still want to sign up, I still have funded places. The falls prevention sessions, we haven't done as many at Custom House Library as I'd have liked maybe, but I am starting again at Ascension Church Hall next week. So there'll be some sessions there on a Tuesday evening and a Wednesday evening. We'll be doing a little bit of yoga, a little bit of breathing, a little bit of balance, and still looking at Dean's bookshop for running some sessions once the weather gets a little bit better, and then starting walks from Custom House Library just around Canning Town Recreation Ground. Really quick walks, 20 minutes. I know Active Newham, I deliver for Active Newham. We do a lot of hour walks, hour and a half walks. It's a long time for some people. So with the falls prevention, we'll do some of the exercises, then we'll go out in the park, then we'll come back, then we have a cup of coffee and cakes normally as well. So I think that's about it. So next slide. End results. So yeah, in terms of the learners, I mean, maybe Louise can tell me what she's learned so far.
Yep, hello everyone. So I've been building my strength, so that's getting a bit better. I can lift a chair now, yep, I'm sort of building my stability as well, because you know I'm steady on my feet at times. I'm not that old, but getting a bit wobbly, getting a bit old, so that's improved. So yeah, and also generally more active during these winter months. It can be like a long old dark winter, so joining Karen's classes has really given me a boost. So Karen has these 9 for 9 minute classes, so at 9 o'clock in the morning you know, we can get on Zoom and we do a few exercises to start off before the day, which really gets me going. So those are really good as well, and those have really helped my well-being. So yes, thank you, Karen. I've really found it really uplifting.
Thank you. So yeah, it's already changing habits of those that are coming in. And if you want to go on to the next one, next slide, just to say that yeah, improving both health and physical and mental health, community safety in that, you know, residents can go out and not have those fears of falling. Again, with the walks, it will be communal walks. So again, somewhere for them to walk in a safe environment, and the learning and education and the peer support, like I say, hopefully, you know, we train a few people up, we get a few more residents that are comfortable standing and delivering and using a ball, and they can go out and support peers or support, you know, carers and people that care for other residents in the area. So thank you very much for the Community Assemblies for the funding.
Okay, a big round of applause for all the projects. Thank you to all the project leads in the room and online. Okay, we are running a little bit behind time, so we're going to move into our next activity. We would have asked you to move around, but we have saved you the trouble. On your table, we're now going to engage in activity 1. On your table, you should see a map or 2 maps, one with the green border. Yes, are the projects 21 to 22. So you'll see Play Wheels, Anti-Knife Crime Project, Custom House on one, and on the other projects for 22, 23. There's also an A4 sheet which says celebrating activity 1, celebrating positive change. How have the projects impacted your neighborhood, and how have the projects impacted you personally? There are post-it notepads on the table. If you can just make notes and just stick them onto the A3 sheets on your table as well, or on the maps. How have the projects impacted your neighborhood and you? You have only 15 minutes, so if you can work as fast as possible, or if you could ask someone to write on the post-it pads and get that done as quickly as possible. Okay?
Oh, on Zoom, I've just created breakout rooms. If you could join, that would be great. Ooh. Well, I've just tried to, yeah, okay. Oh. Hi, everybody. Are there people? Are you there? Are you with me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, I'm going to stop recording, actually.
It looks like a yes. Yeah, okay. Right. Thanks, everybody, for that activity. Really wonderful to hear from the projects earlier and to really hear the progress that's been made and the plans still to happen. And hopefully you've had a chance to feedback. So we're going to just finish off the final bit of the presentation. So are we back to the slides? Yeah, okay. Do you want me to click on? Okay, right, I'm going to try and talk quickly. So apologies, again, trying to make a bit of time. Want to talk to you about the community assemblies from 23 to 25. But to do that, it's going to be a bit of looking back on where we are and where we've been. So this autumn, you gave feedback on community assemblies by attending focus groups and responding to surveys. So thank you for that. And your feedback has helped shape the next cycle. In 21 to 23, as a lot of you will know, been through the journey with us, 1.6 million has been allocated to Newham's 8 community neighbourhoods. Custom House in Canning Town is obviously one of those. 24 local priorities have been co-produced by residents 157 projects have been voted for and over 16,500 resident engagements, including 5,000 plus resident engagements created by the community assembly projects themselves. So a little bit more feedback there. 89% of residents who attended an assembly in the 22-23 cycle felt more connected to their local area after attending one. And 84% of residents who attended an assembly in the 22-23 cycle felt the assembly provided an opportunity for residents to be involved in decision making. Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to go through a few of the things that have been told to us in the council, those involved in the community assemblies, by residents, by project leads, and what's going to happen as a result of that. So very quickly, you said more people from all communities need to hear about the assemblies and to participate. So what we'll do is we'll refresh communications and create more outreach to increase participation and diversity. You also said community assemblies need to be more accessible for all residents. So we will continue to have hybrid assemblies, which is what I said at the beginning to those who were here, making it more accessible. And also we want to improve Newham's co-create voting system and have in-person voting events for anybody who maybe feels digitally excluded from the online voting. You said 1 year is too short to come up with project ideas, vote and to deliver all the projects. So what we'll do is, or what we have done, is extend the community assembly cycle to a 2-year cycle with 1 full year focused on project delivery. Phew, that's going to feel a bit easier, isn't it? So you said more support is needed for residents and local organisations leading on projects. So there have been some project clinics, but there's going to be a 2-year programme this time of clinics at all key stages of the cycle to support from beginning to end. So, right, I'm not going to go through all the way through this picture, but it's going to be online and people can get a copy. But basically, it's showing you how it's going to work through the 2 years. So we're going to start over here in the blue where it's year 1, where there's going to be deliberation, assembly 1 in May, idea generation for assembly 2, June, July 23, June, August, project applications, then another larger assembly where project presentations can happen and some in-person voting, and then online voting on co-create. Then we're going to have a full 12 months of delivery and then on to evaluation. So, do you want to know more detail about how the feedback shapes the next cycle and how recommendations will be implemented? You can actually look at the evaluation report. It's got the web address there, but you can talk to any of the staff here if you want to know any more details. Myself or Chris or Dean is here still. So yeah, just have a chat with us and we can provide more information. Okay, so now we've got a section on the working group. So I think, Medina, you're going to come up and present this part again? Or did you want me to carry on? Shall I carry on? Okay. Customers and Canning Town Neighbourhood Working Group is made up of residents and council officers and local councillors. So it's time for a new recruitment drive. So what we're doing is we are looking to get some new people interested. So as a working group member, you will represent diverse views of the community. You'll use your local knowledge to shortlist projects, make sure they bring a positive impact to your neighbourhood. You'll oversee projects to ensure they're delivered as promised. You will support local residents and organisations in the delivery of their projects and help shape your local area, just like our current group do. So, right, we've got some names down the side there. A slightly wonky photo, which I think was in this room actually, with a few of us sat around having a nice time. And just want to say a big thank you to the Custom House and Canning Town Working Group members who have worked really hard over the last few months, particularly with the monitoring visits and evaluation and just the general process. I've got 2 of those people in the room. I've got a few people in the room actually, but I've got 2 very willing volunteers in the room. I think Maria and Pat, would you like to come up and just say hello? Thank you.
Hi everyone, so I'm Faria. I live in Custom House, and this is actually my second cycle, so my kind of second time on the working group. And I actually joined as a way to get to know my community, as a vehicle to give me a reason to get to know more people in my community. I was fairly new, and I thought what was really important was the emphasis there on the lived experience. So the working group can really bring the fact that you either live, work, or play in the area is what makes you important to the working group process. So I probably have the shortest lived-in experience, but there are plenty of people in the working group that have a lot more. But everyone can bring something to the table, and it's really about your local knowledge, how well you know your neighbours, and what you think resonates for your community. So, and Pat's probably got a bit more lived experience than me in the area, actually. No, just to mean that I learned a lot from my fellow working members by being on it.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Pat Regis. I've lived in the borough for a long time. And I think when you live here and you care about your community, you know, you want to get involved. And I'm sure that's why all of you are here today. And can I just say, King, of the pay attention. King, everybody who've actually applied and got the grant and doing such amazing work. Because you care, and I know the amount of work that goes on behind all of this. You know, we don't see it, but we just see the product. There's a lot of work that they do, and they should be really, it's the bookshop, everyone, I can't remember everybody's name, but it's amazing what you all are doing. And they need new people on the working group. So if you feel you've got that little bit of energy and you care, please join up. You don't need a degree or a doctorate or anything, just yourself. Okay, that's all it's about. Oh, it's a bit bright, isn't it? So yeah, that's all I've got to say, really. Okay.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Pat. And it's a shame people online can't say Superior's fabulous gold DKNY trainers, because they really are something. Oh, what am I looking at, Madoon? Oh, we're members online. Oh, who am I looking at? Adrian. Hello, Adrian. Anybody else? We've got Pierce in the room. Got Sean.
Hi there.
Got Ree. Yeah. Anybody else? Betty's here as well. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just shouting people's names out now that you can't see. So. Thank you. Yeah, can't say it better than Pat and Priya, really, but well done for all the hard work. And please do come and approach us if you're interested. And I've got some more details, I think, about a clinic that's coming up. Right, let's get back to the last few slides. Yeah, join your local working group. So, opens next Monday, the applications. And you can register your interest by contacting us if you're not sure it's right for you. Join the support clinic on Wednesday, 15th of March to find out more and get help to apply. Okay, so shall I talk about this? Okay, I think Madine's had enough. So of talking, that's all, nothing else. Right, residents, King's Coronation Grant. It's coming up, isn't it? Soon. So the residents, schools and community groups are invited to organise celebratory events for the coronation of His Majesty the King, anytime between the 7th of May and the 10th of May. And those receiving a grant will also receive a waiver on statutory fees and charges such as road closures, hires of council community venues, parks and libraries. So I think the council wants you to have some parties. So join your community neighbourhood team's garden party at Canning Town Recreation Ground on Prince Regent Road, E13, on Tuesday 9th of May. So just next door to Custom House Library. So more information to come. And lovely, right, we're getting towards the end. So Councillor Charlotte McLean, can I put the call out and see if you're online? You are.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Hi. Right, we've made good time. I thought we wasn't going to finish, but yeah, we're nearly at 8 o'clock. So I will be brief. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody.
We can't hear you at the moment, Councillor Shirley.
No,
hold
okay.
2 seconds while we sort out the sound. Right,
I can hear you.
Again. Apologies.
We can hear you online.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So I've got terrible feedback. So please excuse if I look disorientated. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. It was really lovely to hear about the various different projects that have been happening within the neighbourhood, and I'm really excited to see how they progress. We had some really interesting and robust discussions online. So it's good that we've got the hybrid option, and I always do like to either be in the room or to actually see what is happening online. I also want to thank the working group, because I know that there is a lot of hard work that's involved in that. And as Lisa said, you know, we are always looking for fresh blood, new people to apply and to get involved in their local community. So if it's something that you feel able to do, yeah, have a chat with the neighbourhood team and see how you're able to do so. One thing I just wanted to pick up on is that I know that a few of the projects said that they hadn't had their money released yet, which is unfortunate. But obviously, you know, because it is public money, so it has to be a robust, you know, all the paperwork needs to be checked and to ensure that everything is okay before the money is released. So, you know, I'm sure it will be released soon, but for audit purposes, we just do need to ensure that everything is with all our ducks in a row, so to speak. Please tell all your friends and neighbours about the neighbourhood assemblies. It's really important that we have as wide a variety of people involved. And as Lisa mentioned, you know, the next cycle will be for 2 years. As you know, we listened to people and we understood that it was quite a rushed process. So hopefully it will give residents a lot more time to come up with projects, to join together and to be able to put in their proposals so that everybody can vote on them. Also, I'm sure Lisa did say, but in case you didn't realise, so it's 1.6 million across the 2 years, so it's 200,000 per neighbourhood. So there'll be 200,000 for Canning Town and Custom House. So it's important that we have a wide variety of projects so that people can have a proper vote on what is important to them. I'll leave it there for now, but as I said, thank you for everyone for attending, and especially to the staff who do work really hard to pull this all together. So for those of you that are in the room, have a safe journey home. Those of us who are at home, bonus, we're already here, and I'll see you at the next assembly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Councillor Charlie. I think we've reached the end now, have we, Chris? Is there any more slides? Okay, just basically, thank you for coming to today's assembly. We really appreciate your presentations, your input, your feedback. So what we'd really like to do is collect your reflections. So Madine, where do we have the reflections wall? Okay. If people could please use the sheets of A3 on the table to capture their reflections. I know we've asked you about the impact so far, but if you could please just give your reflections on the event, the cycle, the process, and just how you're feeling about everything. So, I mean, hopefully positive, because it's been a really lovely evening spending time with you. We also would love it if you fill in a feedback form. Our fantastic new volunteers are heading around with paper versions. I think there's also some QR codes as well. And so please fill in a feedback book and also get help signing up with the NEOM Co-Create, stay in the loop. I've got a hand up at the back. I think we've... Sorry, this is just a question for us in the room, I think, about the feedback. So please do talk to Anna if there's any feedback you can leave either in the chat or online. But just goes to say thank you for everybody for attending in person, online. It's been great. Thank you.